And this is a dish that my grandma always makes me when I come back from Penn State. And it's cubed steak, and you already have it marinated and everything.
Oh, nice.
And first, you want to make it 1/4 thick, so you have to hit it with, I hit it with this. It's called a pilon in Spanish. Or you could also use like the other tool that you use for meat to make it thinner. And then I did a mix of vinegar, water, salt, and then the seasoning. And Goya is really famous back home, so I have a bunch of that here. So I let that sit. I did that at like 11 a.m. So I let it sit in the refrigerator. And then the very important part is the onions, because in English it's called steak and onions. So we usually use like the round onions, the normal onion, and cut it so that way it's round. And you put that to cook first. I did a whole onion, but I think that you mostly need like half an onion, because a whole onion is a lot.
Yeah, I didn't even know Goya sells spice. We always buy like rice and beans, but I didn't know they sell spice.
It also has this.
Oh.
It has cilantro, and it smells really good. We usually use that only for the smell because it doesn't even give a lot of flavor. And I'm gonna put that to cook for a little bit. And then we usually eat it with rice. And I'm also going to do fried plantains, which I already cut. I cut 3 plantains. And first, they have a very hard shell. So you want to cut it along the little, let me see, there's a banana here. I'll just show you with the banana. So you want to cut it along these lines. And then you put it in a bowl of hot water, so that way the peel starts loosening off of the plantain, and it's much easier to remove the peel. But also be careful with your clothing, because if that peel touches your clothing, it stains it. And then I cut them this size, and they're in water with salt and this. And I also did that at 11, so I'm gonna take them out and put them in a plate with paper, so that way it takes out most of the water, and when I fry them, it doesn't jump too much on me. Do you guys have any questions of Puerto Rico? I can start talking about Puerto Rico if you guys would like to.
Yeah, I love it there. I mean, we have only been there for less than a week, but it's so amazing. I mean, the biodiversity and the diversity of people just amaze us.
Yeah, we had a really nice time.
Where did you guys go?
Where did we go? We went to a waterfall.
Yeah, I've already started forgetting some of the place names, but we were mainly in San Juan, and we did a lot of walking in the city, and then arranged for tours to have walking tours. We did like 3 of those, and one of the took us up into the mountains.
Was it in Rio Grande in the rainforest?
It was in the rainforest.
Okay.
We could.
It's called a Yunca?
Yunca. Yeah, Yunca. Right. Yeah. Good job. That's it.
Yeah, but it's. I do have a question. So I don't know if. So we had a really nice time. I think really thanks to one of the guide. He just make us feel so welcome. Like he would give us big hugs. That was before COVID, and he would give us big hugs and say family. And I just wonder. Is that just him, or is that like a more like a Puerto Rican thing? Like everyone is just, because we felt so happy there because of him.
Yeah, so a lot of people are very happy. We're usually very happy, very affectionate. So every time we see each other, we say hi with kisses and hugs. And when I came here, I started doing that, and everybody just froze. So I was like, okay, I don't do this out here. It's fine. So that was a big shock for me. But then obviously it's different cultures, so you get used to it. And yeah, so here are all my plantains.
Oh yeah.
They're drying up a little. I'm gonna put them over here and turn on the oil.
Waving to Ana Maria.
Before you fry them, you should like put your hand over the oil to see if you feel the heat, and then that's how you know it's done. And I usually like to cover half of the plantain with the oil so that way it toasts evenly. And this is actually the first time I'm making this dish. I've learned by just watching my grandma make it, so hopefully it's good.
Yes, so since you are doing plantain, I think Ana Maria, can you hear us okay?
Yes, thank God.
Oh, okay.
How long this lasts?
Yeah, I know Ana Maria loves plantain and she has opinions about them. So
Yeah, they're so good. I love them a lot
yeah,
too.
I think
Oh, and I'm also making rice. It's much easier to do it in bags, so I just bought a bunch of bags of rice. I'm doing that.
I think Ana Maria, you said you prefer plantains to be yellow, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Sophia? What's your opinion about plantain?
Oh, I really like them. I like them a lot. I make them fried. Today I'm going to do tostones, which is just fried, smushed plantains. And then I really like mofongo, which is mashed up plantains. You fry the plantain, and then you take it out, and you like mash it up with this. And you can put bacon, and then dried up pig skin. Because
yeah,
it's really crunchy. Yeah, and to keep it all greasy, you also put like chicken broth, and it's really good. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite dishes.
Yeah, we had a huge debate not huge debate, but some people prefer ripe plantain, other people prefer it to be green. So there was like a debate of which one is better.
It's also what you're making.
Huh?
I said it also depends on what you're making. You can't make tostones with ripe.
Yeah.
It'll squish under you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I eat the ripe plantains, they have to be very thin and crunchy because if it's too fat, it's like too sweet, and I'm not a fan.
Oh, glad we don't have fight today. That's good.
So the onions are starting to get soft, so I'm gonna put 2 pieces of meat. I have 4 today. It's surprisingly that's what a package brought. I thought it was gonna be less. And then Puerto Rico is actually very small. It fits 13 times in Pennsylvania. It's 100 miles long and only 35 miles wide. So that's a little bit of the geography. It's in the Caribbean Ocean Sea. And it would be Cuba, Dominican Republic, and then Puerto Rico. And then Puerto Rico was first part of Spain until 1898, and then the United States invaded the island. And then in 1917, we officially became U.S. citizens and the U.S. At that time colony. Now we are a territory. So I'm gonna leave that to cook on low because I don't want it to burn. I'm gonna put the rice back in. And do you guys have any questions for me? Anything you want to know?
Oh, I think Addie does. I do too, but let me hear what Addie wants to know first.
Okay, I hope I don't offend you, but how do you feel about being a territory and not a state?
Give me a second. So, we're never going to be a state because it won't be beneficial for the United States. So I don't know, like we're so used to just being part of the United States that if we become the United States, we would have our flag would change, and then we would have the same anthem as the United States. And I honestly love my anthem, so I'd rather just stay as we are. I wouldn't want to be independent either because it would be like becoming Cuba, and that won't be very beneficial for us. So at the time we can have our local businesses, and at the same time we also have American businesses. So I guess it's all right. We also have American citizenship. So we have most of the same benefits as any other American, since we're also Americans.
Yeah. I find like Puerto Rico is a place, it's not just beautiful, but it has a lot of researchers, since it's a very biodiverse place. It does make me feel so painful to see when Puerto Rico experienced natural disasters and couldn't get the fund relief, and because it's like heaven. It's just so beautiful and so wonderful, and I don't know how I feel about that, and I guess that's not a question. It's just whenever I see Puerto Rico is experiencing like hurricane or economic downturn, it just, I don't know why, but it just feels so much pain for me.
Yeah, it was very sad when Hurricane Maria. I actually have pictures. I can share my screen with you guys. So here is Puerto Rico. The picture is loading. I'm gonna stop sharing and share again. Okay, can you see the picture now?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
So this is Puerto Rico. It has 78 towns, and I live right here. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah, we can.
It's called Gurabo. It's in the east side of the island. And then this picture here is our flag. And since we're a territory, every time that we have the Puerto Rican flag, it has to be next to the United States flag. It's law. And then Hurricane Maria was extremely devastating when I came back in December. It hit Puerto Rico in September 2017. And when I came back home in December, I didn't recognize anything. And you know that usually in the plane, you can recognize some buildings, some cities. Like I usually knew what towns I was flying over when I came back. And when that happened, I didn't recognize anything. A lot of houses had the blue plastic covers as roofs, and then the mountains looked like they were caught on fire because none of the trees were there, and then trees that were blooming back up looked like popsicle sticks. My mom and I would call them popsicle sticks or popcorn because the leaves would grow on the trunk since they didn't have any branches. So these are some videos. Hopefully you guys can see them.
Yeah.
So this is in my neighborhood. They were stuck in the neighborhood for about a week because they couldn't move the trees until, like, nobody could get to us. So then all the community members started chopping down the trees so that way some cars could leave to go to supermarkets, get ice, etc. And then that's another video. This is some trees falling down. And then this is my mom driving from because my grandparents and we live in the same close community, but in different neighborhoods. So it usually takes us 5 minutes to drive from one place to the other. But since all the trees were covering the path, it took my mom 45 minutes to get from her house to our house in a golf course because we couldn't go with a car. And then this tree was very big and it fell down as well. Surprisingly, a lot of palm trees stayed up. That was very surprising. So yeah, it was very weird going back home. They were 90 days without electricity. A funny story was that my mom got an electrical plant 2 days before the electricity came back. So that's the big joke in our family, that she got it and then the electricity came back. So that is the Gurabo River, the river of my town. And it usually, can you see my mouse? It usually comes like up to here, like the shore, and then it usually goes up to here as well. Like it's a very thin river. And with all the rain, it overflowed a lot. And that was a golf course. It still is being cleaned up. It can't be used completely because of all the trees, and it hasn't been maintained in a while.
That's just so sad. I mean, it's. I really don't know. It's supposed to be a beautiful place. It's.
Yeah, but now it looks much better. That's my house. We had a little tree house, and it broke.
Having a tree house is fun. Anna Maria, I bet you want to live there right now.
It'd be
What
interesting.
did you say? And then
I like how you can multitask cooking while also telling stories with pictures.
that's an idea.
No, this is awesome. Oh yeah, I can see the house right behind the trees, I guess. Yeah.
Looks like it was a pretty nice tree house too.
Oh yeah, I never had a tree house before.
Me neither, but I enjoyed climbing the trees.
Yeah. Addie, maybe you can build us a treehouse library. I think that would help a lot of kids read more books.
Oh, flamboyanus. I think we were told about that plant.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm back, right? Can you see me?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. So I turned on the wrong stove thing, and I turned on the oil one instead of the rice one, so there's a lot of smoke right now.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Your smoke alarm's not going off.
Yeah, don't worry, we can't smell anything.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Sophia, I wonder if that's why you are inspired to, so for people who don't know, Sophia is the president of Engineering Action, and they go to different neighborhood. Like, I think last year you went to, I forgot.
To Bolivia.
Bolivia, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bolivia, and help them build houses and help them build bridges. I wonder if it's your experience in Puerto Rico that inspired you because of the architecture and the environment in Puerto Rico, or what inspired you to do that? That's such a great service.
So yeah, I wanted to be I'm studying architectural engineering here at Penn State, and then I realized that cities didn't need more buildings. So my goal was to go to rurally isolated communities and build whatever they needed. And then Engineers in Action was able to help me pursue this passion of mine. And we go to Bolivia or South Africa to build bridges in really isolated communities.
Yeah, and you showed us a video, which was really fun. And that was awesome.
Yeah. It was very, very fun. I really enjoyed it. We were able to go to 3 different communities, and we helped around 10 universities build their bridges.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to show us the video, feel free to do so.
Oh, yes, I can show the video. Let me look for it.
I hope your roommate didn't feel.
They're like airing out the apartment.
Sorry for I feel we should buy your roommate a gift because you you get the smoke because of us.
It's okay.
The smoke alarm just means that your dinner is ready.
I know, exactly. I'm really hoping it doesn't go off though. It's very loud.
Oh, Addie, when you work in the library, did people sometimes accidentally like open the door and turn down the fire alarm? Because I accidentally did it once, so and all.
Don't get me started. No, it was usually, where the revolving door is, that goes onto main campus when you're walking towards Old Main. There were old-fashioned, the crash bar type doors. Every time you would see people going through those, and the alarm was super obnoxiously loud. I hated that thing. And then we had the guy who decided to smoke some marijuana in the stacks.
Oh.
And yeah, he set the alarm off. And it looked like a Cheech and Chong movie. I mean, there was just so much smoke everywhere. And my coworker just investigated it for like 10 minutes. He looked a lot calmer when he came down than when he went up.
Where in the stacks, Eddie?
I think it was floor 2A.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a normal spot.
Oh yeah, the video is up. Awesome.
So I'm gonna play that now so you guys can see. This was our trip in 2019 to Bolivia. We went to 3 different communities, and it's a video that we made that was 1 second a day. So each day we recorded a 1 second video.
Oh,
that's a lot of work.
And we were there for 6 weeks and a half.
Oh, awesome. Wow. That's awesome. My favorite part was someone was carrying a wheelbarrow of another person.
Huh?
Oh, my favorite part was someone was carrying another friend in a wheelbarrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We saw you at 27 and 48 seconds.
Huh?
We saw you at 27 seconds and 48 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were a group of 8 students. So it was very, very fun. We always had something to do. We were always laughing, making jokes, playing around, but also working.
Yeah, Addie was dancing with your video the whole time.
So do you guys have any other questions about Puerto Rico that you would like to know?
Can you tell us about your family?
Yes. So I live with my mom and my brother. And then my grandparents also live very close to us. And my mom has 3 other brothers, and one of them lives in Puerto Rico as well. So we were raised with him and his kids and all that. Like, all the family reunions were very fun because the cousins and then the adults. And then my mom's other 2 brother and sister live here in the United States. So yeah, we were big on family reunions. It was always very fun because they would talk about their childhood memories and any fun adventures that they had when they were little or college experiences. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think was the biggest difference when you came from Puerto Rico to the mainland?
The weather. Definitely the weather. It's very, very cold here in the winter. I'm not used to that. I usually use 3 layers. And then also the culture, it's very, very different. We're very happy all the time. We're very affectionate. Here, people much colder and minding their own business. Like back home, everybody knows everybody's business usually. So yeah, that was a bit weird. They're more social back home too, but everybody's really nice here. I was very surprised about that. They're very nice. So
yeah, I get that. I feel when I went to Puerto Rico, I feel, wow, everyone is weirdly so nice to me. And then when I got used to it and I'm back, it's like, hey, nobody was smiling at me all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we still sometimes wonder about how Hector is doing, because he was our friendly tour guide in Puerto Rico who hugged us and called us familia the whole time we were there. And so now, you know, we don't normally make those kinds of connections when we visit places, but now, you know, we've got like a cousin in Puerto Rico. Feels like it, right? He took us out to
very nice.
I know.
That's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna fry my plantains now. Hopefully it all goes well. I'm gonna put a small piece to see if the oil is ready. Okay. Yes. It's ready, so I'm gonna put a few more.
Sophia, do you mind if you tilt your camera a little bit so we can see?
Oh yes. Okay. I'm actually gonna. Okay.
Oh, if it's not, that's okay. We can just use our imagination.
Tilt it down a little.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
yeah, we can see it perfectly.
So that way it doesn't jump on me. I usually just slide it down the side of the pan.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going to prepare another plate with a paper towel so I can take them out nice and golden. So this is how the meat looks. It's already done. So now I'm waiting for the rice to be ready.
Oh, that's really efficient. You're cooking 3 different ingredients at the same time.
Yes, I like to do things quick, and because when I get hungry, it's not pretty.
So did I understand, Sophia, you've got some uncles living in the States?
Yes, I have one that lives in Chicago, and then another one lives in DC.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So on either side.
Huh?
DC's not too far.
Yeah, I know. It's like a 3-hour, 3.5 drive from here. So that's pretty nice. When I was a freshman, she would come and visit me. We would do groceries together. And then I would fly to DC and she would drive me here. So it was very nice.
So when you were in your hometown, do you drive or do you have your parents drive you or?
So now that I have a license, I usually drive. But since I don't see my mom only 2 times a year, I usually just tag along with her. Like we go together to places. So that way we can be as much time as we can together.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I was curious because I admire how people can drive in such a hilly place. and we didn't have any accident. It was very safe. I feel very comfortable. But I don't know how I would drive that well because it's very narrow. It's very steep. And somehow they figured out a way to just drive it safely.
Yeah, so actually we also have highways. So I don't take those roads unless it's absolutely necessary. So yeah, I don't like those roads either. They're terrifying. Cars usually go really, really fast because people from the mountains are used to that, and yeah, they go really fast, which I find that pretty terrifying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we have our highways, so I don't take those roads usually.
We drove pretty high in the mountains, and I was getting increasingly religious the higher we went.
Yeah, especially if you went to the rainforest, like that. The nicest trail is usually the last one, which is all the way at the top of the hill of the mountain. I live 45 minutes from there, and I actually went there in the summer, and we stayed there with a group of friends, which was very, very fun.
Yeah, we also learned that it seems like every region in Puerto Rico has different flavor. Like some districts are more history oriented, other places are more nature oriented, and it just seems like wherever you go to a different place in Puerto Rico, it feels like a totally different city for some reason, and that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, so each city has its own flag. For example, my city, the picture that you sent, that's like the town area, the oldest area of the city, and it's called the Stairs town because our stairs keep increasing as you go deeper into the town. And that's one of the pictures that you included. And those houses are actually very famous because not all of the towns have colorful houses like those, and you can see them from the highway. So it's very impressive.
Mm.
But yeah, they're all different. Like, for example, the east side, the coast, of course, it's like a lot of beach and fried food because that's what you eat at the beach. And then in the center, it's more like rice and beans, fried chicken, fried pork, and those things.
Mm. Yeah. And the for like the San Juan region, seems like there are more bookstores and libraries and old what do you call it, court or the guard where
Courtyards?
courtyards, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Old San Juan was established by the Spanish. That's why it has a very unique architecture. And it also has two castles, which were used by the Spanish to see if pirates or invaders were coming.
Mm.
And they have little, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like little houses with very small windows from which they would peek out and see if anybody was coming.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Watchtowers, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, thank you, Addie.
But yeah, I usually love to go to Old San Juan every time I'm back home, but unfortunately due to COVID, I couldn't go this time. Hopefully I'll be able to go in Christmas. So Christmas is actually the longest holiday back home, and it's the longest Christmas in the world because it starts right after Thanksgiving and then it ends mid-January with a huge festival in Old San Juan, which is called Sanse, because the party happens in the street called San Sebastian in Old San Juan. And it's very famous. It starts on Thursdays and it ends on Sundays. There's a lot of music, dancing. I'm gonna show you guys a picture of how people dress. We play a lot of bomba, which came from the African culture since we had our Tainos, which are the natives from back home, and then Africans and Spaniards is our mix. We have a little bit of everybody, and then bomba was the music that the Africans listened and danced to, so we embraced that, and we make a lot of Christmas jokes with it, and it's a lot of drums and dancing, and it's very fun. So I'll show you some pictures.
Yeah, I did hear like Christmas is really fun in Puerto Rico. So we were like, oh yeah, we should totally go there during Christmas.
Yes, it's definitely my favorite holiday. Oh, okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so this is how they dress. It's usually the woman with her skirt. She does like a rhythm, and then the people with the drums have to follow her.
Oh, wow.
So she can do like that, and then the drums have to respond with the rhythm, and then she like keeps dancing and they have to respond to her. It's very entertaining. And then I'm gonna say 2018.
That's really interesting. Usually it's the dancer who follows the drum, but this is like the drum follows the dancer.
Yes. So in Sunset, they usually have people with huge masks walking down the street, and then this is how it usually looks when you start going up. It's filled with people. There's massive amounts of people. Therefore, I really doubt there's anybody doing that now during COVID because it wouldn't be safe. But yeah, it's one of my favorite holidays, and unfortunately, since Penn State starts so early, I've never been able to go ever since I started college. But
so this is called Sanse.
yes, like here,
Sanse.
La Sanse.
Oh, nice. La Sanse. So the idea is to dress up like different ethnicities or like
No, so it's just it's our culture, and we're just taking out like the African side of us, and then like the culture that we have now, like all of the mixed culture that we have. So it's just us dancing, like it's like a cultural activity for the island.
oh wow.
Just dance everything, like salsa, then reggaeton, merengue, and then very famous singers usually come, and they sing at night. They give mini free concerts for people to dance all night long. And we also have artisans during the day. There's a location where all the artisans go and they sell bracelets, soaps, food, anything, everything, clothing. Now I have fried my
nice.
and I'm going to squish them with my cutting board because I don't have. Actually, no, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use the bowl, and I use aluminum foil, and my rice is not ready yet, so it's fine. Cut a piece, fold it in half, put my plantain, oh, you can't see, put my plantain, and then I fold it like that, and I squash it.
Oh, nice.
And here's my toston. And then you take it out, I'm gonna put it in my cutting board. You can just put it aside until you squish all the rest. I'm actually gonna put more plantains on the oil, so that way while I'm doing this, the other ones are getting all nice and cool as well. Actually, no, I'm not gonna make more because I have enough. And I'll just put them away and make them some other day. I might make mofongo.
That's really nice. I like how you just use the bowl to make it into a flower.
Yeah, so we usually have a little machine that's made out of wood that has a little hole right here. And you put the plantain and then you squeeze it. It's the same technique, but you just use a wooden device, I guess. I do that to all of them, and then once I flatten them, I fry them again, so that way they're nice and crunchy.
Mm. Anna Maria, is this how you usually cook plantain?
If you're making tostones or patacones, depending on where you're from and what you call them, yes.
Nice.
Where are you from, Ana Maria?
My mom's from Honduras, my dad's from Colombia.
Oh, wow, okay.
So when I did the Honduran dish, I did the right plantains because everybody else does the tostones, patacones. So it's like, okay, we've already seen that one.
Yeah.
Right
Do you
one.
use pana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I love those tostones. They're so good. Okay, I'm gonna take out my rice. Start buzzing.
Kind of like how three meals can just, not meals, three ingredients just come together at the same time so you can eat them together.
Yeah. We usually have something fried in our dishes. It's very, very good. Okay. And then I actually went to Colombia once, and I really liked it. I went to Bogota. It was very pretty. A lot of people, but it's very nice.
How do you describe Colombia? Like, is it similar? Like, because from what I read, Colombia is also like a very diverse place with a lot of great nature, a lot of great culture. Do you think it's similar to Puerto Rico or totally different?
So I was only in Bogota. I didn't travel much because I was at a fencing competition. But it's very congested, a lot of people. But I was also in the city. It was, the area seemed poorer than Puerto Rico, but the culture is the same. Like, all Latin people are very, very nice, very welcoming. So I enjoyed it a lot. It was like my second home.
Oh, that's nice.
But I wish I was there more time. Like, I want to go again because I was there only for a few days. And I had to come back to the university, to college.
Mm.
Okay. Oil is out. Wait. Oh no, I have to fry again. I forgot. Okay, so now that my tostones are done, they're all here. Now I'm gonna fry them, so I'm gonna move the computer and take you back. Okay.
Thank you for accommodating us. It's not easy to do 3 different things at the same time. Oh, so you fry them again. I see.
Yes, because we usually eat them really crunchy, and I like really crunchy food as well, so you fry them again.
Twice as nice.
Mm.
I'm very impressed by how you can do all of this all at once, including doing a presentation with PowerPoint as you cook. Yeah. I have difficulty just boiling water and nothing else. So I'm this fascinates me.
She did build a bridge in Bolivia, so.
I was gonna say she got this from her grandma watching her cook. I'm sure grandma was doing the same thing, telling the kids what to do and helping along.
And she's like, oh, bring me another pan. Oh, bring me the oil, the salt. But usually now she just tells me to sit because she has a counter right in front of her stove with stools. So now she's like, no, just sit there, Mija. Don't worry about it. Time while she's cooking. And I learned how to cook everything that I know by watching my mom and my grandma.
Oh.
I'm a very visual person.
We have a friend from Venezuela. What she told us is her grandma would blindfold her and ask her to identify spice and different ingredients.
Wow. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's very hard. Now, once they start getting golden, I take them out and I put salt. You could also put oregano or even a little bit of garlic. Garlic is very famous. I don't have powdered garlic and I don't want to smash garlic, so I'll just put salt. oh no, I'm gonna put Goya.
There you go.
So Goya's motto is, if it's Goya, it has to be good. So that's a big joke back home. We use that brand a lot. They're still not golden, so I'll wait a little bit more.
There's Goya.
But yeah, the food is ready. The meat is ready. I'm gonna turn on the meat again so that way it warms up a little bit. I'm gonna put these away, the extra.
So do you think your roommates will be lucky enough to have some dish today, or?
Yeah, I like to cook, so we usually eat, sometimes we eat together.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a good way to make up for the smoke, right? You get a free meal out of it.
Exactly. But yeah, I also invited my best friend because we were gonna study together. So I was like, hey, I'm making some Puerto Rican food. She's like, oh my god, okay, I'll go there for a little bit. He should be here maybe at 6. I don't know, maybe soon. Oh, they're not getting gold. Okay, I'm not too patient, as you guys can tell. Everything's done. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm glad you can enjoy a great meal tonight.
Yes. Let me take out a little bit and put it on a plate so that way you guys can see the finished product.
Yeah. So how are you doing with school opening up right now?
So far, it's been much easier than I thought because all of my classes have the online option. Some of them are, I have 2 that I can go in person. So on Tuesday, we're doing odd weeks, last name starting with A and L through L are going to class, and then on even weeks, last names starting with M through Z go to class in person. And since the classroom they're using is very large, they can socially distance everybody appropriately.
Oh, that's
They all
cool.
have to wear masks all the time. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Like at least I can stay home, eat while I'm in class, pay attention, and be very comfortable here, not having to move much.
Yeah, and how was the flight from Puerto Rico to State College?
It was surprisingly full. I was stressing out a little because I wasn't expecting so many people to be on a flight. I don't think there was an empty seat, and it was a very big plane. So I had people next to me. I obviously sanitized all the seats. So I had the window, so I sanitized the whole window as well. And then when I got to my apartment, I showered immediately. But it was around 8 hours of travel because it's a 4-hour flight from home to Philly. And then I had to wait at the Philly airport for about 3 hours. And then it's an hour flight, 40 to an hour flight from Philly to State College.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, glad you traveled safely and now you can.
Yes, I'm very happy that nothing happened in the flights or anything.
Yeah.
Because I quarantined all summer to be able to come here. So yeah.
Yeah, and your family are doing well too, right?
Yes, everybody's doing well. We're taking the whole pandemic much seriously than here, honestly, because everybody has masks. Nobody goes out unless it's completely necessary. All the restaurants are only 25% capacity. All of the bars are closed. Beaches are completely closed now. Before they opened, so that way people could go and exercise, but now it's completely closed. We have curfew. Everybody has to be home by 10. And yeah, I think that's it. When I got there, curfew was at 7 p.m., which is a very large shock. And if you got caught, you would go to jail or you would get fined $6,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Anna Maria's mom. Anna Maria's mom is also Miss Anna Maria, and her mom said like in Honduras, not everyone can go shopping at the same time. You have to go shopping based on your ID card number. Like Anna Maria, was that right? Like people take turns, right? Oh, in case you didn't see, she nodded her head.
Yeah. So
Okay, there, sorry. But yeah, we also had that for a few months that if your car ended on an odd number, you could go out certain days, and if it ended in an even day, you could go out other days. But I don't think it lasted too long because I don't think people actually followed that rule. but yeah, everybody's taking it very, very seriously back home.
That's good. That's good.
So tostones, mine were very thin. They're usually not this thin, but they're gonna be good anyways. So.
Yeah, and it's gonna be crunchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to send a picture to your grandma to show her you did this?
Yes, of course. Yes. I'm gonna surprise her. I actually talked with her this morning. She's doing very well.
I think she would be so proud that you cooked this dish in like
Yeah.
as a tribute to her.
Yeah. Hopefully the meat it didn't turn out too hard because if you cook it for too long, it turns out very, very hard. But hopefully it's not too hard because I left it on low. It smells very good. Also, I prepared it. I didn't tell you guys how I prepared it. I beat the meat so that way it was very thin, about 1/4 of an inch. And then that makes the pieces much larger. And I put some of the Goya flavoring with salt. I filled up the container about 2/3 with vinegar, and then I filled the rest with water. And then I let it sit in the refrigerator for about 4 hours, I think. Maybe 6 hours, yeah, because I prepared it at 11. And I took it out.
Nice. Oh, Anna Maria, I'm counting on you. She always takes notes for the cooking. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna start serving. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna start serving the rice on a plate. Now I'm gonna have to move the computer over here.
I feel I can just grab the food from the pan, but not really.
Don't try. Okay, this is plating.
Yeah, it's just the plantain in the oil sizzling. It just looks so appetizing. So I really want to grab it right from the pan. Anna Maria, do you think you are gonna try it tomorrow or?
I well might. I have all my ingredients.
Oh, there you go.
Also, I could send you guys the ingredients that way you can make it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I forgot to do that.
No, that's okay.
Fine. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm probably just gonna make mine with liver because I have that too. And I'm like, yeah, turns out good.
Now, you boiled the rice in bags. Is there a reason for that, or can you just do it like in a pot or a pan or something?
That's the boil and bag rice that you buy at the store.
Oh, I did not even know that.
Yeah, well, I've made it that way before.
I'm not too great at doing rice, so I just decided to buy instant rice.
I usually just buy the instant rice in microwave, so no judgment.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, you can do normal rice, of course. Okay. And then we usually eat these plantains, the fried plantains, with the sauce that we call mayo ketchup, which is mayonnaise, ketchup, with a little bit of garlic. It's very, very famous back home. We eat it with everything.
Is this a lunch dish or a dinner dish?
It can be either. We eat pretty strong in lunch and dinner. It doesn't matter. And then if you want to be a little bit more healthy, you could add a salad. Usually in our family dinners, we always have a salad on the side. So this is how it would look.
Oh, that looks so good.